Hello, beautiful people. How are you? We are back. It is a threefer, a full-on threefer. and yeah, I just lost my document. So let me get that back. Yeah, so hello. Shout out to everybody who's watching. My apologies. I thought I had downloaded this document, but it's saying no, I did not. Hello. Hit the like button. Shout out to all the members on YouTube and Patreon. Shout out to all of the supporters on Substack. And shout out to everybody who has copped their copy of Bloodlines and Battle Rhymes or their pre-sale of signed copies of that or the soon-to-be coming Exhibit A. But yes, I've already been here twice today, and so I'm going to kind of recap what we have talked about in regards to this situation just today, so that everybody is all caught up. Let's see if I can walk and chew gum at the same time because I'm still looking for something. Let's hope the words that come out of my mouth are accurate and sensical. So, as you probably know, if you in here, Rodney O and Joe Cooley were sued by the Barry White Family Trust for allegedly infringing on a Barry White work in their creation of Everlasting Base. In that lawsuit, they filed counterclaims. Okay. So the trust suing Rodney O and Joe Cooley, and then Joe Cooley and Rodney O having counterclaims in that. And then separate from that, Rodney O and Necole Key sued the Barry White Trust. Let me make sure I got the right document. Future, Metro Boomin, Kendrick Lamar, the record labels, John Doe's 1 through 10, just a sprawling, I believe, 99-page lawsuit that hasn't particularly gone anywhere. And we're about to learn a lot about both cases. But here's what we talked about earlier today. Excuse me, which is that recently, Rodney O hired a very prominent law firm that is specialized on just these kinds of issues. Very serious, highly respected, highly capable attorneys in the initial lawsuit. So being sued by the Barry White Family Trust along with Joe Cooley. They're both being sued, but they're sued as individuals. So Rodney O got a lawyer. That lawyer does not cover Joe Cooley. And Rodney O's lawyer's been lawyer, and we're going to learn a lot more about that too. So prior to this, again, if you've been watching and following along, the Barry White Trust has sought pretty significant sanctions against Rodney O for discovery issues. That motion for sanctions has still not been decided. One of the things that the judge asked for 8 days ago, 8 days ago, was, which is right after the lawyers entered the docket, the judge asked for an update. Basically, the update said, and I'm completely paraphrasing here, before I make my final decision on sanctions, let me know what discovery issues are still outstanding, basically. Like, is obstruction still happening? Is it ongoing? Pretty much. So they were supposed to file that today, and I mentioned that earlier today, they have. That's the document that we're going to look at. It is a joint update to the judge from Rodney O's attorney and the Barry White Trust to the judge, letting them know, hey, status update, right? Earlier today, one of the things that we had a live about is that the Barry White Trust, in their lawsuit against Rodney O and Joe Cooley, has reached a settlement with Joe Cooley only. They are withdrawing their lawsuit against him, and Joe Cooley is withdrawing his counterclaims, and that's it. Nobody's paying anybody's attorney's fees. Nobody's anything like that. Joe Cooley is simply out of the situation now. He is no longer involved in the lawsuit. So the judge signed that order very shortly after we got off live saying, all right, settlement reached, great. So within the next 5 days on the docket, we will see the Barry White Trust formally withdraw their lawsuit against Joe Cooley with prejudice, meaning never to be filed again. And Joe Cooley will also formally withdraw his counterclaims, never to be filed again. So that leaves just Rodney O being sued by the Barry White Trust, and then separately Rodney O and Necole Key suing the trust, the artists of Like That, the label, John Doe's, etc., etc. The judge who is handling the lawsuit filed by the Barry White Trust is also handling the second lawsuit, which will be referred to in this document that we're about to look at as the second cause of action. And I just want to say a couple things, okay? After Rodney O got a lawyer, a document showed up on the docket purported to be filed by Joe Cooley to the court. This is before they settled with Joe Cooley, okay? A document appeared, a letter motion to the judge appeared on the docket, allegedly filed by Joe Cooley. And I said to a couple looters in a very private Discord, it would appear Necole Key wrote this document. I was like, well, it looks like she's flipped from dealing with Rodney O to dealing with Joe Cooley, because it's classic. We've looked at enough things prepared. It's classic, alleged Necole Key. So, I just want to say for the record that happened. Okay. We did not talk about the letter here because it wasn't important enough to interrupt everybody's day. It was just another, this lawsuit shouldn't be happening. And I trusted Rodney O to, take care of this lawsuit for both of us. And I was just like, girl, bye. And I just moved on with it. Okay. But now all of these details bring us to, at the order of the judge who's deciding what to do about sanctions, they have filed a joint update. They have also, they have filed a joint update, period. Rodney O's lawyer has also filed an unopposed motion for a 75-day extension on all deadlines and a couple other things. They want to be able to do a couple other things because now he has lawyers. And the lawyers are like, we just got here. We need a minute to figure out what it is that we can do here for our client. It would appear that motion is unopposed by the Barry White Trust, which means unless the judge is just like, absolutely not, she's probably going to grant the motion. But we don't even have to look at that. We're not going to focus on that. We are simply going to look at, oh, Jesus, the joint update, because let me tell you something. I was not planning on having another live today. I knew that at least one more document was going to come onto the docket. And I said, sweet baby Jesus, let it be mundane. And then I went on with my workday and I finished my workday. And if you were here on a live earlier, you heard me say, my old lady's shoulder is bothering me. So I was, in traction with my one good finger scrolling like, oh God, let me look at this document that was filed. And the way I bolted upright when I got to the Necole Key section, the way I bolted upright, I was literally, I mean, so stunned. Shout out to everybody who's watching. Hit the like button. I was so stunned. So incredibly gobsmacked, stunned when I got to this section. So here we are. I promise you, it is worth all of our time. Okay. Okay. Because this is, we have seen some really crazy, we have seen some really crazy filings in this case. But, baby, this is crazy. Okay? This is crazy. So, this is, I'm going to be pretty routine and just get us to the part that matters. Again, this is a joint statement to the judge about where they're at on discovery issues. So, the parties' joint statement, items agreed to, they go through document production, expert discovery, Joe Cooley's settlement is in here, and then they get to Miss Key's conduct in both actions. And I would just like to remind you that this is a joint. This is from Rodney O's lawyer and the Barry White Trust lawyer, jointly to the judge. This shit is crazy. And the thing that first caught my attention, because as I was reading the document, I was like, blah, 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 blah. And the first thing that caught my attention was where it says, and you can't see it because watermark, Miss Key's conduct in both actions. Because here's what I also said, going back to when he hired, when Rodney O hired his attorney, and I looked at the attorney, I was like, oh shit. This attorney is, I can't stress to you enough, the real deal. And then I was thinking to myself, like, okay, kind of makes sense, that he's on this one. But I was really like, if he shows up on Rodney O and Necole Key representing them in their lawsuit, I will be totally beside myself. He is not, nevertheless, on his bar, and as a friend of the court, he has some information about the second cause of action. Just, I don't have no bourbon. I don't have no bourbon. Here we go. We have discussed that Miss Key and the second action are inextricably intertwined with this action. The parties jointly wish to advise the court of recent conduct on the part of Necole Key that affects both this action and the second action. Because remember, she's the judge for both, which is just an obvious efficiency for the court, that she's already intimately aware with the issues in the first lawsuit, and the second lawsuit is a result of the first lawsuit. So it's on her docket. Notwithstanding being admonished by the court for inserting herself in a role that would be properly played by an attorney, docket number 62, it appears that Ms. Key has prepared and filed a motion on behalf of and in the name of Joe Cooley, docket number 159. That's the letter that showed up on the docket after Rodney O got a lawyer. I must speak for myself. I trusted him. That letter. A couple days ago. Just a couple days ago. Day ago, 2 days ago. Notwithstanding being admonished by the court for inserting herself in a role that would be properly played by an attorney, it appears that Ms. Key has prepared and filed a motion on behalf of and in the name of Joe Cooley. Based on information from Mr. Oliver, it appears that Ms. Key was not authorized to do so by either Mr. Cooley or Mr. Oliver. I don't even know. I don't even, oh God. Okay. All right. Let me finish reading. Hopefully my brain will process the thought that I was trying to come out of my mouth. In addition, over 2 weeks after the court's order regarding service on the Barry White Family Trust and their counsel in the second action, Ms. Key orchestrated wholly unnecessary, redundant service at Miss White's home as a member of the Barry White family and Miss Weber's home. That's one of the attorneys. It is submitted that such conduct was done solely for intimidation purposes and was followed up by bizarre social media posts, including a post with hashtag stay armored up. Mr. Oliver and Mr. Freundlich, that's his lawyer, have advised that they were not aware of, nor do they condone this conduct. Ms. Key surreptitiously used only Mr. Oliver's name on the summonses, which were served in the matter, and also on affidavits of service, which were not authorized by Mr. Oliver. Oh, baby, I'm going to back up just for you. This is a joint update from Rodney O's lawyer from Rodney O's lawyer and the Barry White Trust to the judge today. Notwithstanding being admonished by the court for inserting herself in a role that would properly be played by an attorney, it appears that Ms. Key has prepared and filed a motion on behalf of and in the name of Joe Cooley, the letter that showed up on the docket after Rodney O got a lawyer. Based on information from Mr. Oliver, it appears that Ms. Key was not authorized to do so by either Mr. Cooley or Mr. Oliver. In addition, over 2 weeks after the court's order regarding service on the Barry White Family Trust and their counsel, Ms. Key orchestrated wholly unnecessary, redundant service at Mrs. White's home and Miss Weber's home. It is submitted that such conduct was done solely for intimidation purposes and was followed up by bizarre social media posts, including a post with hashtag stay armored up. Mr. Oliver and Mr. Freundlich have advised that they were not aware of, nor do they condone this conduct. Ms. Key surreptitiously used only Mr. Oliver's name on the summonses, which were served in this matter, and also on affidavits of service, which were not authorized by Mr. Oliver. Thus, we have 2 recent incidents, one in each of the actions where Ms. Key has insinuated herself. Yeah, that's what it says. Insinuated herself for improper purposes and engaged in vexatious conduct. I could weep. Thus, we have 2 recent incidents, one in each of the actions where Ms. Key has insinuated herself for improper purposes and engaged in vexatious conduct in the names of Mr. Cooley and Mr. Oliver without their knowledge or consent. The parties jointly request that appropriate order to show cause be issued to Ms. Key. Joe Cooley said, Your Honor, if you would. Rodney O said, Your Honor, if you would. Handle Ms. Key, please. The parties jointly request that an appropriate order to show cause be issued to Ms. Key. I am fucking gobsmacked, and it's not over. We're not done. We're not done. Second action. Although Mr. Freundlich has not appeared in the second action, meaning he's not officially Rodney O's lawyer in that second lawsuit, Mr. Freundlich and Mr. Oliver shall dismiss the second action without prejudice as to Mr. Oliver's claims. Mr. Oliver shall dismiss the second action without prejudice as to Mr. Oliver's claims. And then they just go on balance of discovery, mediation. Oh, I said in a previous live, I think it's on the 9th, but it's on September 17th before another judge. They are prepared to move forward. Both parties request oral argument on sanction. Defendant Oliver has requested additional time to open the already closed briefing on the sanctions motion. While plaintiffs wish to extend professional courtesies, they cannot agree to a do-over of this motion because Mr. Oliver chose to appear pro se after dismissing the firm of Fox Rothschild. Oh, he dismissed his lawyers. I thought they left. So mediation. I thought this said, oh, plaintiffs. Okay, I was wrong. Plaintiffs are prepared to move forward on mediation. Rodney O wants a brief delay on mediation to happen in October. Hold on. What else? Rodney O's lawyer would like more time to review what has happened with sanctions so far and prepare an additional response before the court hears argument or otherwise rules on the motion. And will submit a letter request in this regard. So Rodney O is going to withdraw from the second cause of action so that he's not anywhere near Necole Key. But I did note that it said without prejudice, which means if he wanted to file his own separate lawsuit, that he would be able to do that. but nevertheless, to withdraw from the one that is joint with Necole Key. And then, yes, they very forcefully allege vexatious conduct and fraud on the court in multiple instances where she has allegedly, according to lawyers, prepared things without any knowledge of Rodney O in Rodney O's name and put them on the docket, and prepared a letter from Joe Cooley just the other day without his knowledge or consent and put that on the docket. I'm fucking stunned by that. I again, here we go. Again, it's just big me. It's just big me. Girl, I don't know what to do with myself. I am telling you, I shot up so fast. I shot up so fast. I was just like, and then I just sat there just staring at it. Like, I cannot believe I'm reading these words. And it's not, it's everything is different when you have a lawyer. Everything is different when you have a lawyer, right? If this was written by Rodney O and put on the docket by Rodney O, we'd be like, oh, they fighting. Oh, they fighting. No, this is two officers of the court on opposing sides jointly stating to the court, it would appear, and they language it that way because it's for the judge to determine if that is exactly what has happened, which is why they say the parties jointly request that an appropriate order to show cause be issued to Miss Key. Judge, you go ask her. I am so grateful to God that today is not Friday. I am so grateful that today is not Friday, because that just means there's a possibility we could get a document from the judge tomorrow. Oh, that's one possibility. The other possibility is Miss Key could re-enter the docket. That could happen as well. But I want judge. I want the judge. I am the physical embodiment of Your Honor right now. Is this not a chair? It was you, Necole Key, Necole, and I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling lawyers. I am so floored. This makes me wonder about the other documents, the alleged proof of summons that were entered onto the docket in the second cause of action, because if my memory serves, some of those were submitted by her and others were allegedly, I guess, submitted by Rodney O. How do you write something and submit it to the court when you're not that person? Not talk to that person, not get their permission. I don't know what to do. God. Is this not a chair? She'll re-enter the docket, posing as the lawyer this time. I don't even... in the Discord, I was like, y'all, I don't mean to be dramatic, but if you don't get your asses in this live session right now... I am genuinely beside myself. I am genuinely beside myself. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This is one of those, this is the appropriate use of, if true, baby batshit gone. baby batshit gone. Hello, beautiful. Good to see you again. Thank you for the support. Hi, darling. I didn't expect none of this today. I didn't expect none of this. Whitney Houston gif. I'm just over here like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. When I opened that Joe Cooley letter the other day and saw the first couple sentences, my eyes almost rolled down the fucking street. I was like, here it is. The drama has returned. You know? The drama has returned. Now she's all up with Joe Cooley, like, I got you, boo. But it was very clear to me at the point Rodney O got a lawyer, I was like, something has happened. And we briefly had that conversation of like, something has happened for him to go from allegedly, I don't even know now what on the docket is true or not true, but from him to go from I'm ride or die with Necole Key to I have a lawyer. And then can you imagine? Can you imagine that while they are in the midst of hammering out an actual fucking settlement with Joe Cooley, a Joe Cooley document comes onto the docket? Oh my God. I can't. I cannot. That the settlement that they entered into is non-complicated, but it took a couple days, at least. So can you imagine that they are literally in a fucking joint meeting trying to figure out how to get this settlement with Joe Cooley done, and then bloop, bloop, docket alert. They're looking at him. He's looking at them like, well, you know, I didn't do it. I'm sitting here with y'all. Oh. So if there is one thing that these parties agree on, it is that Necole Key apparently appears to be a serious fucking problem. And if I am Rodney O's lawyer, and I have looked at, I don't even have to look at everything on the docket. I can just look at the docket. Look at the descriptions of all of the entries. I would be asking my client questions like, so you mean to tell me there are no text messages between you and Necole Key, no emails between you and Necole Key, where you discuss, where she lets you know, where you direct her to go to the attorney's home or to send process servers to the attorney's home? No, we never had that conversation. Because if you did, if we tell the court that she did this without authorization and there are actual communications between the two of you, you know she's going to enter them onto the docket. So you need to tell me right now, are there any communications? No. Mr. Cooley, are there any communications about your letter? Because if there are, if we put this joint update to the court on the docket, she is definitely going to respond with receipts. Nah, dog, I didn't know she did that shit. It is a surgeon going into the operating room. Or excuse me, it is an imposter going into the operating room and saying, I am the surgeon. I cannot get past you impersonated somebody else on the docket. That's what they're saying. You wrote a letter motion as if you were Joe Cooley, and then you filed it onto the docket to make it look like Joe Cooley filed it. I can't breathe. I don't know what to say to that. I'm unable to can. I am unable to can. So obviously, I needed to tell y'all. This is not sound strategy. I just got to say. Audacity is not sound strategy. And I legitimately, sincerely cannot wait to see what happens next, because are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? One of the most respected law firms that now represents Rodney O has come before the court and said, wasn't us. It would appear to have been her. He didn't know shit about it. Wouldn't have condoned it if he, which, you know, some of that is posturing because he's got a lot of cleanup to do. And I really hope that the judge allows for more briefing from Rodney O's lawyer on sanctions, because I want to know what on the docket came from Rodney O and what allegedly did not. And then, yes, I want to see the judge. We've had so much conversation about flies to be a fly on the wall. To be a fly on the fucking wall, because I know the majority of the shit that has come onto the docket has not even really raised an eyebrow for the judge. We've been over here, you know, fucking falling all over ourselves like, oh my God, put us out of our misery, make it stop, make it stop. But for the judge, who is old and seasoned and dealt with much more serious shit, I don't think anything has raised her eyebrow until Rodney O's lawyer put in his motion put in his notice of appearance. I think that was probably the first time the judge went, oh, interesting. And then probably when she saw the motion for settlement and she signed it, that was probably the second time she got a little arch in her eyebrow and said, well, look at this. And now this was probably both eyebrows went up for the judge. Both eyebrows went up for the judge. I'm sorry. I beg. She what? They said the parties jointly request that an appropriate order to show cause be issued to Miss Key. Rodney O said, Your Honor, if you would please deal with her. Thank you. Well. That's tough. You know, the other thing that's crazy is the day I told y'all Rodney O has gotten a lawyer, let's see how long things stay stable for. 4 hours later, there was a pro se entry onto the docket from Rodney O. I didn't talk about it here because I was like, well, that was a lot shorter than what I thought it would be. Once you have a lawyer, you're not entering shit onto the docket yourself. So again, I just wonder what that came onto the docket was actually Rodney O and what apparently was not. Man. Oh my God. And we were confused in the Discord. I was like, y'all, it didn't even last a day. It didn't even last a day. And it was just this run on like 2 week late. I'm so sorry. I tried to, but and I was just like, dog, you just hired one of the most respected lawyers in the fucking industry who deals with shit like this. What are you doing? So who entered that onto the docket? No fucking clue. No fucking clue. Oh my God. This would also explain why his filings seemed so bipolar and contradictory to each other. It just explains so fucking much. Oh my God, I can't even. I just can't even. Doesn't it feel like doesn't it feel like the fuckery makes sense now? I just all of a sudden it's just like, oh, okay. Well, in that case, yes. Yes. Seriously. Seriously. And I have that in my head with lives. I definitely have that in my head with lives where it's like cut to and then remember this, the da 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 da, and then something in the Discord. I was like, this is fucking crazy. I bolted up so fast and was just probably for a solid 5 minutes. I just stared at this document with my mouth open. Like, I cannot believe it. I mean, I have definitely seen people do some shit, but this is, if true, I got fucking nothing. I am so I am totally fucking floored, but I am also not surprised. Okay? I am totally fucking floored and also not surprised in the slightest fucking bit. I may have chatted I fucking knew it before I came on live as I was sitting there just like, oh my God. So it's not just a he said, she said. There's an electronic trail, for example, of where the Joe Cooley filing came from. And by the parties saying to the judge, we respectfully jointly request that an appropriate order to show cause be issued to Miss Key, they are in effect saying, bring the full weight and authority of the court to investigate. The court has resources to look at a bunch of shit that cannot be tampered with by a third party. So, and like I said, even to us lay people, over the past 2 weeks, as things have come onto the docket, we have been like, something's off. Something's off. What the fuck is going on? I literally said the only explanation for this behavior is somebody has a mental deficiency because the shit that would come onto the docket immediately contradicted itself to the extent that it literally did not make sense from one document to the other, allegedly filed by the same fucking person. I literally said several times, it's disorienting how nonsensical this is. But in this context, now it makes complete sense why. Because allegedly, more than one person was filing things on the docket as one person or the other. I'm just like, oh my God. My God. And if you were doing that, I question whether or not you have the judgment to understand that you should be concerned right now about your liberties. I shudder to think, and I will be researching tonight. That's gonna be my little pre-bedtime fun time. I will be researching tonight because I shudder to think what the full weight of the federal court is to address this allegation. I shudder to think. It feels like it's probably vast. I'm trying to think of what is comparative, what's comparable to anything that I have dealt with before in the past that could give me a foothold of where to start. And I think that it's a forged affidavit entered by a lawyer onto a docket. I'm going to go back to that case and figure out what did the court do in that situation. And that was a lawyer. But it will at least give me some direction into the mechanisms. Someone loves Rodney, or he had an epiphany. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it feels like he had a conversation with somebody, and potentially somebody actually looked at the docket and was like, bro, do you know what's going on? Do you know what is going on in your own case? But yeah, the Joe Cooley filing, immediately I was like, I think Necole Key wrote this. So anyway, gang, what's going on over your way? What'd you have for dinner or lunch or breakfast, depending on where you are? I have been smoothied up all day. Really, really hearty protein shake. But I also have some enchiladas. So at some point in time tonight, I'm gonna pop those in the oven and heat them up. Love some leftover enchiladas. Phantasmo. Yeah, figure out what I'm gonna watch. It feels like Friday, but it's not. So I gotta be careful about that. Uh, yeah. What's going on here? That sounds delicious. Love me some pizza. Okay, a couple pizza folk up in here. You made the pizza dough. Fond childhood memory. Fond childhood memory. My dad used to love to make homemade pizza, and yeah, made the dough. Yeah. Excuse me. Enchiladas here too. Yay! Ooh, just put a cheesecake in the oven. I don't have anything like that, but I do have some very fresh cinnamon rolls that are still very soft, and the frosting is still just like really creamy. So that'll be dessert after the enchiladas. Or actually probably enchilada, so I have space for dessert. It is. I would agree with you 1000% that making your own pizza, including your own pizza dough, is fun and relaxing. Yeah, definitely. Hi, K-Way. It's definitely Friday after the week I've had. Fuck that job. I feel you, beautiful. I validate that. Well, that sucks. That's sad. Hi, Princey. Okay. All of a sudden, you want attention? Yeah. Hi. Hi. You already had your din din. Hi, babies. Hi, babies. Yeah. Yeah, guys. This is crazy. Hold on. You be doing that. Come over here. Come here. Over here. Come on. You want to come up here? Are you going to be a big, brave boy and jump up here? Hey, talking to you. Hello. Wow, the look he just gave me. Come here. Okay, fine. Pretty much. I'm just going to come by for the 11th time today and rub myself all over everything. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah. Very consistent baby. Mm-hmm. Are you going to come up here? Like, no, I'm just going to rub myself on everything, make you feel guilty. God, these cats are just fucking master manipulators. That's what they are. Just master manipulators. And that's what he's trying to get done right now. It's just, well, if you stop stuffing your face and everything. Okay, go. Again, the look he's giving me, like, go. Stop it. Wow. Such a dork. But he's mine. And I love him. I am just like, oh my God. I am going to be gobsmacked by this for the rest of the evening. I'm probably going to watch something, piss your pants scary. And I'm still going to be shaking my head about it. As the body parts are flying across the screen, like, oh my God. Oh God, I can't believe she did that shit. I am just like, whoa. 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 So it'll be interesting to see if he actually does file a separate lawsuit against everybody for everything. But yeah, very clear that both parties are like, Miss Key is the problem. Hi, it's her. She's the problem. And also, we're trying to insulate ourselves from her and her antics in every way possible. And also, you need to drag her before the bench and figure out what the fuck it is that she's doing. I am, wow, wholly floored. And I can't wait to see what happens next. And if she comes onto the docket with receipts of like, this is a whole ass lie, I was in communication with both of these men, it's just gonna get worse. Because again, you've got big name, reputable lawyers joining forces and saying, look over there. Oh, stunning. He just wants another thing of wet food, and he's not going to get one. So, but that's what it is. He literally just ate one. He, again, Princey and his habits. Every time he gets done eating, he needs to go and, stare out the window while his food digests a little bit. And then, yeah, I think sometimes he has a little bit of a Dory quality where he's like, food, what food? I had dinner. I don't recall that. Let's just run it back one more time. And I'm always looking at him like, I can't tell if you really don't know that you just ate or if you're playing me. But since you're a cat, I'm going to lean towards you're playing me. We have already established that she does not know how language models work. And yes, her IG is completely unhinged. Completely unhinged. If all of this shit is true, she went from being a slight annoyance to facing a declaration of being vexatious with I don't even know how many different fucking sanctions or punishments from the court. Like, I don't even know what to. I need more information. That's what my brain is like screaming right now is I need more information. Like, because something's gonna happen next, and oh my god, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Something's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It sure is. I know one thing is for sure. I know that Rodney O is fucking kicking himself for trying to de facto make Necole Key a co-owner of the musical work in question. But then again, I'm like, the whole docket is in question. The whole docket is in question. And I just want, it's like, is the judge going to refer this to somebody else? I'm just like, oh my God. You want me to put it in the Discord unwatermarked? Give me a second. I just sent it to you. I mean, it's in our not so secret. because let me know in the Discord what they say, because I am just like, oh my God. There's nobody who I can justify bothering with it right now. They're really busy, but yeah, I would love to know what they have to say. I just love to know people's reactions to shit when they see shit for the first time, because I don't even need like a breakdown of like, well, here's what's gonna happen. I just want to know what their reaction is to seeing it, because my reaction was literally, I literally gasped and just stared at it again, and then saw the we jointly request the court get that ass. So I was like, oh my God. And then under that saw Rodney O is going to withdraw from that lawsuit with Necole Key. I was like, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Yeah. Yeah. No rush. Yeah. Ooh, child. Oh, wow. Yeah. Damn. I don't know. Y'all are just going to sit here and see me be flabbergasted and totally blown away, because that's just, I mean, it takes a minute to recover from being flabbergasted and totally blown away. And I am both. Whew. This is a dazed inaction. Yes, it is. Jesus Christ. Yes, it is. Like, girl, if you don't shut up. If you don't shut up and sit down. You hate legacy artists. No, I hate biscuit head ass motherfuckers causing mess where mess is not necessary. That's what I hate. With this self-important bullshit of I alone shall save the world. And you had the motherfucking nerve to put my face on your goddamn IG. And here's your whole ass. It would appear. Q smooth. Q smooth. Or Q smooth, sorry. This is a great live stream. Well, I'm happy for you. I was over here feeling kind of bad, because I'm like, girl, pull it together. Pull words, come up with the words, formulate the words. But gasted flabbers. Gasted flabbers. Gasted flabbers, y'all. Fuck. Fuck my life. So I guess when we were wondering to ourselves, I wonder what it was that triggered Rodney O to get a lawyer. Asked and answered, fam. Asked and answered. We got the answer. And oh my fucking God. I don't want to hear shit without receipts. I know that. I don't want to hear shit without receipts, and then receipts better come with metadata. Don't ask fraud on the court. In multiple official filings across 2 cases. So your receipts better come with metadata. I don't want to hear a fucking thing without receipts and metadata to back it up. Not a fucking thing. I am disinterested in the story. Disinterested in the story. Too stupid to come in good faith has no integrity. Been done said that since her ass came onto the docket. Wouldn't come on here and have an intelligent conversation because wasn't capable of it, then turned around and tried to use my face, my voice, and my fucking video to get people who don't know what the fuck is going on to view her as some sort of savior martyr for legacy artists. Meanwhile, allegedly committing a whole ass fraud on the court. It is entirely believable to me. I have no problem saying this, and I have felt this way for a while. In general, I have had the sense of like, I don't think he understands what these filings are doing, right? But now that has sharpened into I'm fully prepared to believe that he didn't know that she was filing shit on the docket. I am fully 1000% prepared to believe that. So, yeah, I'm disinterested in the story. Come with receipts. Or pray to God. They said I used Chat GPT. Truth is, I correct Chat GPT. I'm scared. Oh, Princey's gone now. Princey's like, bitch, I do not have time for this. They said I use Chat GPT. Truth is, I correct Chat GPT. Oh my God. Yeah, boo. Yeah. I'm just like, wow. Is that what's happening? So you admit to using ChatGPT after you denied it when I said from day one that you were using ChatGPT. Now you admit to using ChatGPT. And since you're not a lawyer, you don't give a fuck about the fact that you're not supposed to do that. These are rhetorical fucking questions. Again, you had your opportunity. Also, you're going to be very busy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I know when I'm not a priority, and I'm not. Evidence of Independent Reasoning by Necole. Necole corrected or challenged ChatGPT's interpretations multiple times. As detailed earlier, she raised legally nuanced distinctions. So your proof that you corrected ChatGPT is ChatGPT. I'm wondering if we can triangulate and overlay the time of these lives and when it was that you prompted corrections in Chat GPT. Super curious, but it's a rhetorical question, you know, just for funsies in my head. I can't get upset when others take another path. God allows free will. If he can accept their choice, so can I. There's nothing I needed from them. So if they don't appreciate all I do, it's time to find someone that does. Loyalty over royalties. This is fucking... I'm fucking dead. You must be fucking joking. Oh my God. I'm sorry. This says, this is Chat GPT. No, Necole Key did not need Chat GPT to form her legal theory or arguments. No, that's what I did. But anyway, her legal and strategic responses are clearly rooted in, number one, deep real world knowledge. She cited actual sections of U.S. copyright law, like 17 U.S.C. Section 203 and 501B. Unlike attorneys who debate hypotheticals, I live copyright law. I've been forced to fight it, implement it, and blah, blah, blah. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, this is real. That's not theory. That's experience. Oh, this fucking description was written by ChatGPT. Jesus fucking Christ. So yes, I'm not an attorney, but one thing's for sure. They are not a rights manager. And when it comes to rights management, I know more than them and even more than AI. Hashtag lived experience. Hashtag rights manager. Hashtag receipts don't lie. Oh, bitch, you right about that. Receipts do not lie. It is all in, put up, shut up, time. All in, put up, or shut up. Because this shit is either unequivocally true or unequivocally false. There's no in between. There's no fucking story that makes the actions make sense. It's either unequivocally true or unequivocally fucking false. Best receipts win. I don't know, probably not. Yeah, we're way past that, babe. We're way past that. We are way past that. Okay? We're way past that. Ah, my God. Yeah. I'm gonna be shaking my head about this all night. And I'm gonna be keeping my eye on the docket all day tomorrow because I a stunning turn of events. I mean, wow. Wow. Jesus Christ. I feel like a bobblehead. Fuck. Yeah. Well, guys, I don't even fucking know. Yeah. I I know I keep repeating myself because I just really am so blown away by this. This is so shocking. It is so reckless. It is so dangerous. It is, you know, it's gonna follow you anywhere and everywhere you go. If the court does determine that you are a vexatious litigant, that is going to have consequences for anything else that you touch in the litigation arena. It's like a scarlet letter. It will follow you everywhere you go. Kiss of death. So if you do have a valid claim on something, oh God, the deja vu I am having at these words, you are fucking yourself. You are fucking yourself. And I am relieved. I am personally relieved that Rodney O has gotten such expert counsel. If nothing, for just the sake that the unnecessary absurdity of the case stops. They settled with Joe Cooley, and now they're both telling the judge, deal with her. So now this just goes back to being your normal, average, run-of-the-mill copyright litigation case. That still has significant, implications. There are a lot of people who have said, like, in the comments section, like that doesn't have anything to do with this and it's not an infringed work. If like that is based on an infringed work, come on, babe, you should be able to string those pearls together on your own. So if Everlasting Base infringed and then they used Everlasting Base in like that, problem for all involved. Somebody gonna sue him for something. So I don't know exactly what it is that I don't think the judge is going to give Rodney O's lawyer everything that he has started asking for. I think he is going to get some things. Because I think one of the primary focuses of the judge is going to be determining what on the docket is viable and true and what is fraudulent, because that would inform sanctions as well. And the fact that they both jointly ask for oral arguments means they have a story to tell the judge together that they agree on. Stateless oral arguments, they're going to stand up in front of the judge and tell the judge what had happened was. I cannot. Hello, beautiful. I'm going to give you a recap. Also, there was an issue with your books. United States Postal Service fucked it up. I took them to UPS, paid way too much money. The crazy thing was your package is, this big, right? I'm behind a guy in line who has a oddly shaped, I'm already knowing it's a specialty shaped thing. So they're going to charge him, an arm and a fucking leg for it. And it's big. They're measuring it and shit. And I'm standing behind him, just looking away like, oh God, the number they're about to give this man. It was $180 or something. He laughed so immediately, picked up that box and walked out. And I was like, yeah, I feel it. He was like, you know how much I paid for the shit that's in the box? It's not worth. I was like, yeah, that sucks. I put my tiny little package up on there. She said with a straight face, $53. I said, but here's what this is 1/100 the size of what he just brought in. Why is it a third of the cost? Anyway, your books will be there tomorrow. As delivered by Brown. And then you're going to get some emails that say your order placed for Bloodlines and Battle Rhymes has been canceled. You can just ignore that. Yes, I'm putting all of this out there because, child, then save me an email. I was like, I'm not even going to explain this to him until after the books get there. So they'll be there tomorrow. The other order will appear to have been canceled. You'll get an email saying that, blah, 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 blah. So if you could, let me know, even though I do stock the tracking number on the package. But if you have an opportunity tomorrow to shoot me an email when they show up, that would be cool. So I can stop, stalking the tracking number, which I do for everybody's books, by the way. If you order a signed book from me, oh baby, I stalk your tracking number until it says delivered. I was like, the hell? What the hell, Beyonce? Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick overview of what it is that done happened. Okay. The cliffiest of cliff notes. Rodney O has really good legal representation now. This happened about, 10 days ago or so. An expert in the field, highly respected law firm representing him in the lawsuit where he is being sued by the Barry White Trust. That attorney does not represent Joe Cooley. Nevertheless, earlier today, the Barry White Trust settled with Joe Cooley. Judge signed off on the order. So Joe Cooley is totally out, not involved in this anymore, period. No harm, no foul. Doesn't have to pay anything, doesn't have to. It's just you are no longer involved type settlement. We will never sue you again, and you will never sue us in the future. So that's done. Coincidentally, today was due to the judge a joint letter from Rodney O's side and from the Barry White Trust to the judge, giving her an update on where things are at in terms of discovery, because she's figuring out what the sanctions are going to be, if any. So they submitted a joint letter. Rodney O's lawyer and the Barry White Trust lawyers submitted a joint update to the judge wherein they accused Necole Key of flat out forging entries on the docket in both cases. In the case where Rodney O and Joe Cooley were being sued, now just Rodney O being sued, and in the case where Rodney O and Necole Key were suing the trust, Future, Metro, Kendrick, the label, etc., etc. They have alleged that she straight up forged shit on the docket, unbeknownst to Joe Cooley, unbeknownst to Rodney O, and they have jointly asked the court to investigate her. And Rodney O is going to withdraw from the lawsuit where he and Necole Key are suing everybody. He may file a separate lawsuit, but he's withdrawing from that one. So I have never in my life. I spent the majority of this live struggling to formulate sentences other than I cannot fucking believe this. It is definitely the most shocking thing that we have read on this docket. They just straight out pinpoint documents where it's like, Joe Cooley did not write that, had no idea it was on the docket, didn't give her permission to do it. These things over here on the other case that have Rodney O's name on them, he had no idea. And we jointly together, Rodney O's lawyer and the trust lawyer, request, judge, that the court handle that. I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe it. I can't fucking believe it. Stunning. Stunning. So that's what's going on. That's what I came on. Now we're in the LBG, just still just like processing and recovering from, oh my God. I cannot believe it. When I opened this document, it was filed a couple hours ago, but I was, going through my work day. And then as I was complaining to the chat, I got a stiff, sore shoulder. So I was up doing my old lady stretches, my old lady physical therapy stretches. And I was like, I can scroll and see what these other documents were that came onto the docket today. And that's when I came across the update. And the first page is just like, wah, 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 okay, yeah, blah, blah. And then it gets to the second page, and there's a whole section. Miss Key's conduct in both actions, in both cases. And I bolted up so fast, and I gasped and literally just sat there staring at the document. Like, I cannot believe I'm reading this. I cannot fucking believe it. I said earlier that I am completely beside myself and also 1000% not surprised at all. And also, so many things make sense now to me. So many things make so much more sense now to me. If true. My little caveat. Oh, that's too bad. Let me see if I can I can also adjust my setting a little bit, so I can hopefully stop that from being an issue. Hold on a second. You're probably going to hear more background noise, but you'll survive. If it makes the change, we'll see. But that's pretty much the only thing I can do for y'all. I am... Oh, good. Excellent. Might have been my animation. The mic filter is probably like, we were not set up to filter the, undulations of Black women's voices on the microphone. What is this? What do we do? Do we lower her? Do we increase her? Racist ass mic filter. That's what we're going to blame it on. That's what we're going to blame it on. I don't think that her actual motivation has ever been the case. I said this before, and I know what it sounds like, but it's my truth. There are people in the world that know they are pathetic people, and they self-aggrandize to try and create a different narrative so that they're viewed as important to something. And she checks all the boxes. So I don't think this was ever about justice or protecting Rodney O or anything. I think this was about her proving that she is somebody and that she's vital to something. And, you know, they basically say that she appears to have forged a document in the name of Joe Cooley and put it on the docket. And when it came onto the docket a couple days ago, I said, this is Necole Key. Now, I thought it was done with his permission. They are suggesting very strongly he had no idea that she had done it. But I clocked it right away. Her filings are very unique to her. So I was like, obviously something has happened. There's a fracture with Rodney O because he's gotten a whole ass lawyer, and this lawyer is a serious attorney, and there's no way he's putting up with her bullshit. So that's a clear fracture. And I just assumed that, like, oh, she popped over to Joe Cooley because he's not represented by the lawyer and was like, I'll help you. And Joe Cooley was like, cool. Nope. Apparently, Joe Cooley did not know at all, did not authorize at all for her to file the most recent letter under his name onto the docket. So it's going to be an eventful couple of days on this docket. She could pop onto the docket. The judge is definitely going to pop onto the docket. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. They, you know, have taken a very solid, unified position that she's doing things that amount to a fraud on the court, and the court needs to use its full weight to figure it out. And meanwhile, they're working in good faith to try and get discovery to where it needs to be, and blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of things they agree on. There's some things they don't agree on, and the judge will figure those things out for them to move forward. But the case, for the most part, is in check because he has viable, really, really good counsel. So for all intended purposes, the antics should be over. Joe Cooley has settled. He's out of the situation completely. Rodney O has a lawyer. And now they're saying the court can deal with Necole Key. And I'm just like, oh my God. So, yeah. I'm smarter than AI. I know copyright. I'm a rights manager. We looked at some of her social media posts. Me. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Massive, 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 massive ego. And this is just, this is just beyond the pale. It really is just the audacity of what the fuck. Levels of what the fuck. I don't even know. Now, there have certainly been lawyers who have faked signatures on stuff. And faked like affidavits and signatures and stuff, and entered them into the docket and then gotten caught. That's the closest, like, comparison that I can think to make. You're getting disbarred for that. Or a 5-year suspension. But you're probably getting disbarred. You knowingly, willfully made some shit up. So, as fate said, like, I don't even know where to start with. I'm gonna have to think about and process, like, Jesus Christ, what does it mean when the full authority of the federal court comes down upon you because you have been accused of basically forging shit and then putting it on the docket as if somebody else filed it as well. So it's 2 in 1. You're not just making up the document and saying it was written by Joe Cooley. You're then filing it as if you are Joe Cooley. I did not. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Yeah. And then we talked about like dinners and desserts and stuff and, just winding it down a little bit as I sit here dazed, legitimately dazed. My brain is going to be chewing on this one in the back for a minute. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. I don't know what else to say except for yes. That is correct. I Yeah, I just imagine the moment of discovery, of figuring out, of realizing that she's putting things on the docket in other people's names without their permission. The moment of realization. This is all I can do. This is all I can do. You don't do that. We don't do that here. Yeah, this is a definite. We don't do that here. Hi, Princey. Back again, huh? You still literally just had dinner 1 hour, 45 minutes ago. It's headbutting me in the leg. Yeah. Mhm. No. 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 No, 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 no. So it'll be interesting to see if she tries to assert her 50% ownership over the work in question, because then what that is going to amount to is more court action. He's gonna have to invalidate that in some way, because she's going to argue, she could argue separately and in the future standing, because they pulled that retroactive, "Oh, no, 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 she owns 50%. We're equal." I know he regrets that shit now. It was a dumbass move at the time and highly suspect, but I know he regrets that shit now. Because if she wanted to, she could try and make that a headache. Yeah, I don't know why I feel like I have stress, heartburn. I haven't even had heartburn-like things to eat. I just have to remind my body, I'm not involved. This is not my crisis. I don't have to fix this, because my whole nervous system is just like, "Oh, I beg your finest fucking pardon." What? And that's why I said, I don't care. I don't want to hear your story. I don't care what the story is. I don't care. You better have receipts with metadata to show they weren't tampered with. Because there is no justification. If this is true, there is no fucking justification. And the fact that they didn't just allege it, the fact that they follow up their allegations with, "We respectfully request the court get all up in that ass and figure it out," That is what makes it even more, oh my fucking God. They're not just like, we're going to assert this because it helps both of us. So this is going to be our narrative. They're like, and actually, Your Honor, if you would like to test our theory, we would like to see that happen. I mean, it does. It does. I mean, it might not in total. Let me say that. It may not cover it in totality, but it does. When you're pro se, you're the attorney of record. You are subject to the individual rules of the court, the local rules, and then the federal rules. So it's a starting point. But I don't know if it's also potentially criminal conduct. Because if you are creating a document in somebody else's name without their knowledge or their consent, and then you deliver it as if you were that person, I mean, that is the simplest quintessential definition of fraud. All it says is you don't do this. Again, that if you asked me to put a word to it, I would say that that is beyond a misrepresentation. A misrepresentation is, saying it was noon when you knew damn well it was 2:00. This is fraud. Mhm. You should definitely get in a sprinkle. You should definitely get in a sprinkle of some criminal law. Definitely. Definitely. So, yeah. Yeah, that uh, it is so highly unethical. And so risky. And that's why you got to be really fucking arrogant or really fucking dumb or a mixture of both to think that that is a sound strategy. And I've talked about this on this channel before of people often don't think about how contemporaneous proof of something is held and shows up. Because they're only focused on what they did and what they can or cannot see. And instead of realizing that it's not the same thing as what other people or entities can or cannot see, they project that onto, well, if I can't see them see me do it, that must mean that they didn't see me do it. No, that's not what that means. That's not what that means. Data is captured somewhere. Information is captured somewhere. And if someone is on to you, or at some point in time in the future, sniffs you out, they are going to be able to reverse engineer that trail and figure out where are all the markers of where there could be proof. Digital proof is one of them, and we've already seen her get called out. about accessing discovery and IP addresses and all of that. If you filed something in the electronic court filing system and you are not the person, they are going to be able to figure that out. And you are not going to be able to tamper with that data. You can't erase anything from a docket as a party, ever. You can't make it disappear. The risk is way too high. Abort mission. That is a massive liability on your ass forever. Too risky. Abort mission. No fucking way. Just no fucking way. There is no circumstance under which the risk is reasonable. No way. And the damage is compounding. It's compounding damage. The court already doesn't like you and thinks you're interfering where you should not be. And if you did, now you have no integrity with the court. You are an enemy of justice. So I can't even fucking imagine. I know what my reaction was when I saw it. I can't even fucking imagine. I think the judge has been mostly completely unflappable in this entire situation while all this biscuit head assery has been going on. I think today was probably the day the judge was like, what the hell Beyonce is going on? You can't do that. That's against the rules. You can't use somebody else's account. It's against the rules to do that. You can't share an account. You can't share an account at law firms and just, this is the account that we use to file stuff. You have to have your own account. You have to. For these reasons, you have to. So not even that is acceptable. You can't do that. And that shit will come up on a docket from either court staff or a judge. A reminder. This appears to have been filed using an account that is not connected to the attorney who signed the document. This therefore needs to be, don't matter if you work at the same place, don't matter if you share snacks. So no, they're not going for that. They're not going for that. So if this shit is true, she's fucking cooked. It's nothing for them to figure out who actually filed it or who didn't file it. And if they're lying on her knowingly, then they're fucking cooked. They're fucking cooked with the court and their new fucking counsel because they put their names on this shit and filed it with the court. So, like I said, this is the moment of high stakes, all chips in. Whoever's bluffing is about to be found out. So, I'll keep you abreast of the goings on, but I'm ready for some enchiladas. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go give Princey his little evening scritches because apparently he needs that. I'm going to go heat up my enchiladas, figure out what I'm going to watch. I'm going to try and watch something that really just fully, takes me away from this, but I know I'm still going to be shaking my head. I am still going to be shaking my head. So yes, beloveds, I may see you tomorrow. Who knows? We'll just see. I hope you have a wonderful night and a great day tomorrow. Jesus Christ. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you soon.